Dark Souls, made by From Software, which is a Japanese company. The OG of the Soulsborne series, right? Right? Well, not quite. Before Dark Souls was Demon Souls, originally on the PlayStation 3, before the remaster came to PlayStation 5. But even before Demon Souls, there was the Kingsfield series, with the original Kingsfield released on PlayStation 1 all the way back in 1994, though it never made it out of Japan. Kingsfield 2 and 3 did make it to the West, however, and were also on the PlayStation 1. Kingsfield 4 was the first game that made it to the PlayStation 2, and was the last of the main games in that franchise, barring PSP and mobile spin-offs, before the release of Demon Souls in 2010 of June. Dark Souls swiftly followed in 2011, and was quickly labelled by the community as the flagship of the Souls-like genre, which has spawned numerous sequels and a lot of similar games being made to try and claim a little of the glory from themselves. In Dark Souls, you play as a silent protagonist with character customized to your choosing, including the usual face, hair, size, gender and so forth, featuring an in-depth customization you could easily sink hours into, with options for cheekbones, makeup and goodness knows what else. All of this is quickly rendered moot, however, once you get into the game, with the majority of players immediately slapping on the heaviest armour and biggest shield they can find to reduce potential incoming damage, meaning all of that effort going into customizing your character was in fact wasted effort. Oh well. Story-wise, there's very little told through dialogue and cutscenes, bar the opening cutscene, which depicts lightning-wielding lords, fire-wielding witches, and a disease-wielding god of death, for want of a better term. Unfortunately, they all get a little drunk on the power and refuse to relinquish it, so it comes down to you, the protagonist, to unseat all of these lords and claim their power for your own in order to usher in a new age, either choosing to rekindle the fires and recycle the Age of Light, or bring on the inevitable Age of Darkness, which has been held at bay so far by individuals sacrificing themselves and using their souls as kindling of sorts to keep the lights on, as it were. With that, you're then plonked into the game world after the opening cutscene, which depicts your character locked in a cell of some sort of prison or asylum, with naught but a knight who appears through a hole in the roof for company. The helpful individual tosses down a corpse, which contains the key to your cell, allowing you to escape, and this is where the actual gameplay starts. Through exploration, you quickly find a lot of pitiful creatures also locked up with you, some hostile, some not, and gradually progressing through the surroundings, exploring, looting, fighting the inhabitants, and falling prey to the occasional trap. This tutorial area introduces you to the basics of fighting, including dodge rolling, attacking, blocking, finding treasures, and killing enemies for spendable currency to level up, called souls, to name a few. Before even finding your first decent weapon though, you're introduced to the first boss, the Asylum Demon. With no hand holding from the game, you're given the options of fight or flight, although he will swiftly pancake most new players unless you know what you're doing. What you're supposed to do is hoof it through a nearby open door which he can't fit through and continue your exploration, this way leading to better armor, a new weapon which actually does some damage, and your healing items. Now ready for revenge? You circle back to his arena, and this time you enter onto a raised ledge high above him. This introduces you to a new mechanic, the plunge attack, which, when executed correctly, does heavy damage to him and removes a sizable chunk of his health bar. Then the real fight continues, with aforementioned dodging, blocking, and attacking coming into play. Once defeated, you're allowed to escape through the doors at the rear of his arena and head off into the meat of the game world, with your only guidance being to ring 2 bells. This will make up most of the early game, although completing this will unlock even more areas to explore in a seemingly never-ending world that, despite being fairly linear, just seems to go on and on forever, with new and very dangerous locations constantly being revealed. Each one filled with new items, NPCs whose quests you can assist with, or not, and a variety of enemies that always keep you guessing and wondering what's around the next corner. As an added bonus, we have tested the Steam Deck performance and find it runs flawlessly. You will then need to use the touch screen to enter your character's name, but after that, the game is designed to be played on controller anyway, so it fits the handheld console like a glove. We absolutely recommend this game for new and old comers, as long as you don't mind dying frequently, but the satisfaction from killing a new enemy or boss is well worth the struggle. Please like, comment and or subscribe if you liked the video or found anything useful. See you next time, bye bye!